It's new at 11. A lot of you talking about this story on social media. A Jacksonville woman says she spent her father's final years caring for him in his home, and he lived in a 55 and older community.
And so after the woman's father died, she inherited that home. And now she says that the Homeowners Association is trying to force her out. And the legal fight, it could leave some of her neighbors paying thousands of dollars in legal fees.
Our Sydney Deshawn is on your side tonight. Sydney, I know you spoke with that woman and her attorney, I should say, not related to this case, about what you can do in a situation like this.
That's right, Anthony. And the dispute centers on whether the neighborhood's age rules apply in this case. Bethany Michelle says she moved into the Jacksonville home 6 years ago to care for her father. She inherited the home after he died and now is fighting to continue to live there permanently. An attorney we spoke with says in some cases, under federal law, you would have to sell the home or lease it to someone who qualifies.
He was super sick, terminally ill, and I was like, I can't leave my dad like this.
Bethany Michelle says she moved to Jacksonville in 2019 to care for her terminally ill father, a Navy veteran. She says COVID restrictions kept her from giving him the care he needed at his assisted living facility, so they rushed to buy a home.
We needed a house and we needed it fast.
Michelle says they ended up buying here in Freedom at Arbor Mill, a 55-plus community in Oakleaf Plantation. She says the seller at the time told her she was grandfathered in.
Once my dad passed, I'd be allowed to stay. Everyone reassured me I was grandfathered in.
But after her father died in 2023, Michelle says the HOA started enforcing the community's age rules. She now says she could be forced out of the home she inherited.
I have nowhere to go. This is my home. I've lived here for 6 years.
Michelle taking to social media, posting this video after she says residents got this letter from the HOA on a proposed special assessment, asking them to pay $1,000 per household or an extra $100 a month for 10 months to cover legal costs associated with enforcing the community's age restrictions.
It hurts my heart to know that some people are going to be forced to pay this alongside me to fight a fight that has nothing to do with them.
Neighbors also raising their concerns about what comes next.
This affects not just Bethany, but the whole community, because if my wife and I were to die tomorrow and our house would go to our under 55-year-old children, so we would be in the same position.
The HOA's governing documents say the community is intended for residents age 55 and older. Under the Federal Housing for Older Persons Act, 55-plus communities must have at least 80% of occupied homes with at least one resident who is 55 or older. The remaining 20% provides flexibility for situations involving younger spouses, caregivers, or inherited homes. Arbor Mill's Declaration of Covenants and Restrictions says every occupied home must still have at least one resident who is 55 or older. While someone younger may inherit ownership, ownership alone does not automatically grant the right to live there if the occupancy rules are not met. We spoke with an attorney who is not connected to the case.
It's not a matter of the condominium or homeowners associations being mean-spirited, but if they don't adhere to the law, which requires that it be enforced to a minimum of 80% enforcement, then they lose that exemption, then they would be violating the Fair Housing Act, and the entity itself would be in violation of Florida and federal law with serious penalties.
He says it's crucial for parents to have conversations with their kids.
They should be mindful, if they're choosing to live in the community, that their children will likely not be able to live in that home and continue there.
For Michelle, she says she just wants to stay in the home she inherited.
To know that this is how my dad's dying wish is being honored, it's honestly like, I wouldn't wish this upon anybody.
Now, we did reach out to the HOA and the 5 board members several times. When we got a hold of someone today, they did decline to comment. Now, the HOA is meeting tomorrow night at 6 to talk about the proposed assessment.